extended 3 days before demonetization, right? And I'll tell you why. Okay? The Mauritius is, we have something called, and something I'll talk about a little later on, is we have round tripping. Like you buy a round trip ticket, so your money goes out, comes back through various shell companies back into India, right? That's called round tripping. Thanks to, and so this is what most people suffer on an individual basis. They're not involved in any of these round trips, right? But this is what they see. Bribery by, so this is reported by Transparency International, more than 50% of police interactions involve bribes. Public schools, access to public schools, access to healthcare. India is number one, right? Not in cricket. In cricket maybe, I'm proud of that, but but also in the bribery game, right? And this is so the round tripping is actually this whole idea where you use the shell companies to go and get the money that gets cleaned, right? Okay, so so if this is not about black money, right? It's only targeted black cash. So even if it did, so that's the whole idea. So just the point I want to. Let's talk about counterfeit currency. So this is the new 2,000 rupee note. Those of you who haven't seen it, right? The RBI. This is from the RBI. So the RBI had 13 new things that were there in the currency. No new features, but 13 different features, right? High security notes, right? So this is the note that came out of the ATM a few weeks ago. It's the Churan label, Children's Bank of India, from a State Bank of India ATM, right? So this is a fake note with a, so it's, so lots of people were caught having, the notes which were fake, right? 42 lakh. So there's a new business model for MBA students, right? Transport fake notes in Audi cars and you'll be okay. But there is a lot of that going on. Crores and crores of counterfeit currency has already been found within weeks of having the new currency. Cashless India. So this was part of a discourse much later. So this is an advertisement on November 9th by one of the major, mobile payment systems, right? Paytm, right? अब ATM नहीं, Paytm करो, right? So who's Paytm? Can I have some water? So who's Paytm, right? This is, the largest, Paytm had, the next day had 400% increase in traffic. 200% increase in the app downloads, right? The major investors are Tata and Reliance Capital. Alibaba Group is also a major investor. Actually, the majority investor in this, right? So this is Paytm. Cashless, just to give you an idea, I don't want to bore you with all the numbers. This is what was the reality of India, and it sort of rhymes with some of the stuff that people said. 95% of the transactions are conducted in cash. 90% of the vendors don't have any other mechanisms, right? 85% of the workers are paid in cash, right? 50% of the population doesn't even have bank accounts, right? Even Uber, the good old mighty Uber takes cash, right? 78% of Indian consumer spending is cash, right? Just a few more numbers here. See, online. So even on 70% of online e-commerce transactions take place via cash on delivery. Okay, so this is not. 27% of Indian villages have banks, within 5 kilometers. Right? Okay, so what happened after sort of in March, right? What happened to all this 400% increase? So this is according to RBI data. In February 2017, there was a month-on-month decline of 21% in electronic transaction, 20% in NEFT transactions, which is bank-to-bank, point of sales transactions down 28%. So it's the volume, total volume of digital transactions slipped below the one before demonetization. Right? Welcome to cashless India. One of the big things is that people started realizing there's a lot of transaction fee involved, right? And this dog does bite, right? So, if you need to think about cashless, etc., this is not the time for it. I mean, we might have to cancel our dinner and we can spend a lot of time talking about that. But, I haven't even gotten into privacy issues and security issues and, Snowden, etc., of what they have told us in terms of what happens with data, right? Mm-hmm. But one thing that I want to sort of bring up is this BTCA, Better Than Cash Alliance, which was the founding members are Microsoft, Bill Gates Foundation, Visa, MasterCard, Citibank, the good old folks, right? They have been pushing India and through the UN to have a cashless society. They not just with the current government, but also with the previous government. So it's a partnership, right? So if you see this map, right, this is downloaded from this BTCS site, right? You will see that it's G20 countries, but then a lot of other countries are trying to are getting involved in this cashless alliance, right? Better Than Cash Alliance. So this is kind of the overall game that's going on. I can show you a clip quickly since we have time, right? Of some, just like short clips so that you have just some idea what actually happened. So this is a clip from a very, an excellent source of information for India called The Wire. So I'll just give you a. कैसे क्या नंबर पंसैया खुला है ये मेरा अब ये पंसैया दे दिया बना तो पंसैया भी अब बंद करवा रहा नरेंद्र मोदी कैसे जिएगा आदमी बताइए हम लोग क्या बता सकते हैं हम लोग को तो कोई पता नहीं काला धन कहाँ है किसके पास है नहीं है हम लोग तो नहीं जान रहे हैं काला धन जो ये नरेंद्र मोदी ने जो ये कर रहा है वो तो अपने जगह को सही कर रहा है
It has been 17 days since high-value currency notes were demonetized. We have read some reports that say a lot of migrant workers have been traveling back to their villages as they are unable to find work, and most of the company owners, factory owners and businessmen aren't able to pay their workers anymore. We are at the Old Delhi railway station right now, here to speak to...
Okay, so I'll just, you just get the hint. Let me just... show you what happened to industry and why these people had to suddenly leave their good old, places of work, right? This is what, 100 people died, and that's, was in the news, so most people know. What did the All India Manufacturers Organization say? They reported that there was a 35% loss of employment, right? There was about 50% reduction in revenue. The PMI, which is basically, I don't want to get into all those boring details, but basically any number below 50 means it's a contraction, which is we're nearing a recession, right? So it went below 50 to 46.7%. There was a survey by a well-known economist, Jean Dries. He reported in 7 locations, Raji, 46% decline in earnings for workers, right? This is just some numbers from for two-wheelers, motorcycles, and three-wheelers. These are actual numbers published in the Business Standard and the Wall Street Journal, right? You see a sharp drop, and this is January, February. I'm not talking about November, December, right? just look at what happened is in terms of peasants. Okay. So this is just an interview conducted right before the elections in UP of peasants. So let's see. Sorry.
कर्जे जाने कितने बार माफ की, और ये जो पार्टी भाजपा है ये सबसे धनाढ़ है, ये कभी छोटे आदमी की हो नहीं सकती, मतलब इससे छोटे आदमी को लाभ नहीं मिलेगा। जिसके घर में शादी ब्याह होता है तो 2-4 साल की व्यवस्था बना के रखता है।